Okay, so Kalyan will start actually. Kalyan will move ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, friends. Good evening, and once again, a warm welcome to all of you for our monthly session of Project Managers Club of Pune. And this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our senior colleague, Mr. Ketan Gandhi, fondly known as KG. And many of you know him pretty well. If you have been attending these sessions regularly. He is an accomplished consultant. He is an educator, and he wears many hats. And he is closely associated with COE, the College of Engineering, Pune. And we would be happy to pick his brains, I would say, on a very interesting topic called problem solving. Now, this is close to his heart because KG has been promoting a very effective style of delivery for around case study management. How do you be successful around that? He has conducted a lot of sessions on it, and I look forward personally to hear this particular skill, which is going to change my perspective here in my life going ahead. Welcome, KG, and look forward to a very engaging session with you.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Good evening to all of you. I'm really thrilled to be part of this program. Today is a special occasion for Project Managers Club of Pune because the club is celebrating 6th anniversary in this month. So it's a very, very special occasion that the program organizing committee, Mr. Vivek, Professor Jaybai, Mr. Kalyan, and as a volunteer, myself as well, that we have been successfully organizing these programs and taking it forward to the next level. So I'm looking forward to work with all of you for next maybe 85, 90 minutes to help you strengthen your one of the most important sought after life skills known as problem solving skills. Isn't it a paradox that every day everyone solves hundreds of problems in their life, in their business, in their job, in their career, and still every day we are feeling that we are not able to solve problems. So it is a very interesting topic, and a lot of research is going on in this subject to understand what exactly happens when human beings actually try to solve the problem. And as I had gone through a couple of research papers and reference books, I think we haven't scratched even a surface of what exactly happens inside the brain. But whatever is the knowledge available in a public domain, and also my personal experience about decision making and problem solving, I thought to share a couple of points with you so that maybe you all can look at your own skill inventory and maybe a few concepts you may be able to you gain from here, and you can apply, and then you can come back and share your experience as well. Okay, so interestingly, all the business magazines, all the newspaper, all the television programs, and everything, if we look at it, then it is all full of problems. 99% of the companies are in problem. Actually, it could be more. And 95% of the people also are always trying to find some kind of solutions to the problems that they face. I also belong to this 95% of the people. So it's just an acknowledgement that yes, we all in our life, we all faces problems, and we all try to apply our knowledge and our skills to solve the problem. Isn't the world is a strange place that last 100 years we have had maximum number of inventions, innovations. We have technology, we have internet, we have mobile phone, we have medical research, we have scientific research, we have technology, we have automation, everything. And still, so ideally, the world should have been problem free, right? Ideally, at least at the individual level, we should all must have been completely out of the problem. But the reality is that everyone is passing through one or the other problem. And that makes the life interesting. That makes this topic also very, very interesting. Now, when I say 95% of people are facing a problem, some kind of problem, there could be a long list of category of the problems. We'll also look at it. But just from the perspective of the medical science, in a medical science, an individual's ability or inability of inability to tell what is the reality and what is the imaginary. What is real from imaginary, if that is the ability that we can take, then and the mild inability is also treated in medical science as a mental problem. And there are a number of reports which also indicates WHO reports and also the country reports indicates that 1 in 5 people are passing through some or the other mental problems. So imagine 4 of your friends are near ones and dear ones, and you just imagine a picture for a minute and try to find out who might be passing through those kind of difficulties. Now, if other 4 are not passing through any difficulties, then you know who is passing through that difficulty, and that means you are in the right program. Now, if one of the other 4 is passing through that kind of difficulty, then also you are in the right program, because then you will be able to give some kind of input to that person to bring some change in their life. So this is just a humorous part, but yeah, the reality is that people are passing through a lot of problems, and that's why we need to continuously strengthen our problem solving and decision making and also thinking skills, so that we can live our life in a much better way. Now, what exactly prevents us from achieving our goals or reaching to our potential? And I mean, any one of these kind of terminology that we often use in our life, that we have issues, we have challenges, we have a lot of dilemma what to do, we are passing through a troubled phase, we have so many obstacles, there might be disputes. So all this could actually lead to some kind of tension in our life, and then we divert our attention and our focus in solving these kind of troubles and issues, and probably we are not reaching to our targeted goal in a desired time frame. Now, most common problems that we come across when we interact with other people, maybe you may have a different set of or different category of problems, but this is just a common list that maybe if you can look at last couple of years of your own life, maybe 1 or 2 problems you might have passed through, and you might have solved those problems or challenges as well. But these are the most common problems that people at some or the other point in their lifetime they face. And many problems are actually where the external environment or external influence impacts, and also in many problems it is our own ability or inability that also can impact impact our life, because we may face these kind of problems. Now, there is a further categorization of the problem, because we often use these adjectives when we talk to someone. Small or big problems, structured versus unstructured problems, articulated versus unarticulated problems, defined versus not defined problems. Well, if problem is defined, but then well defined or ill defined, so that also could be a category or a subcategory. Personal problem or a professional problem, known problem or unknown problem, routine versus non-routine, one-time problem versus repetitive problem, generic problem versus unique problem, real problem versus imaginary problem, and problems created by us, by ourselves, and problem created by others. And this list can also go on and on, because we hear people talk about many such adjectives and terminologies when they explain that what kind of problems that they are passing through. And each and every category or subcategory of the problems may require a different approach. Maybe few common approaches can also work in other kinds of problem, but yes, there are differences, and we need to understand what all approaches can work in which categories or which type of problems. Now, this is a 16-hour 2-credit course, problem solving as a skill. We are just trying to include everything in the 90 minutes. So there are going to be some limitations in terms of how much we can talk about each and every topic. But I will try to include some of the most important topic that will be common interest to all of us, and maybe we will take something out of this, and we will try to improve our life using this today's discussion. If you feel any kind of need to ask questions, or if you have anything, please write it down in the chat box. Kalyan is looking at it. And if you feel that you want to unmute, please unmute and also speak. Let us make it more interactive, because I think this subject is known to everyone, and everyone brings a lot of experience. So you all can contribute and you all can share, which will help all of us to learn. Okay, now there are certain problems, certain issues that prevents us, or that really changes our ability to solve problems. So what are those issues? If we know those issues, then maybe we can work better on ourselves, and we can improve our ability to solve problems. So let me give you, I would have given a 9-dot problem, but I think every one of you would have done this 9-dot problem in one or the other workshop in problem solving. So I'm bringing now a different problem. So please keep your pen and paper ready with you. I'll give you a 30-second to collect your pen and paper. Just draw a square. Just draw a square on your paper, and divide the square into 4 equal parts. And once you divide it, please you can show it on your video. And I think if Vivek can, if we can look at. So what is the solution that you have adopted? If you can keep your paper in front of a screen like this, then we all know that what exactly you have, how you have divided this square into 4 parts.
Just unshare your presentation for some time. Let them show what they have drawn.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I think that's the right thing. Okay. Yes.
sharing actually.
Huh?
Unshare your presentation.
Yeah, but it's
Stop sharing.
okay. Yes, I've done that.
Yeah. So now they can show.
Yeah, please divide the square into four parts, equal. The shape should be equal, and show your what you have done. Okay, so we have already one, I think.
Krishna has, which is crossed actually. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So there are, in fact, there are three. Okay.
Hera has equal squares. Okay.
Mhm. Yes. Anybody else? Please feel free. Try to attempt.
Aniruddha, I think it's not visible.
Yeah, I've drawn a square and cut it into squares.
You cut into
Square.
this square.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that is probably one of the most common solution
Yeah,
that
most
we
common is this.
see. Okay, also we see a cross is also quite common. Okay. Mhm.
Yeah, so two are very common.
Two are very common, and then third one we saw. So there are three different solutions so far. Okay. Yeah, so everybody should do it so that if you take part, then it will become experiential learning, and then it will be a good reflection.
I have also made like this.
Okay, why don't you share? Why don't you show?
I need to.
I can't see. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to remove the virtual background, I think.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Mr. Anand has also shown. Mhm.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you can see it now.
Yeah, we have seen Pallavi's picture.
This is also equal 4, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Good. So we are seeing good responses from all of us.
Yes. Yeah. I think there are more than 10 responses. So that's good thing.
Naren,
Okay.
your things are not visible. Just see on the light, or the light is not coming on the paper. So there is no light on the paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Equal square.
Yeah, that is a common. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Fine. Yeah. So we have at least 10, 12 responses. That's a good sign that people are quite attentive and they are participating. And there are also a couple of responses in a chat box
square,
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think 4 equal square is the most common.
Yeah, it's the most common. And isn't it is a very interesting thing to understand that how most of the people think alike, and what makes actually everybody follow similar solution. And there were a couple of other solutions also came up. At least 2 different solutions came up. It's very interesting, and somewhere it is also reflecting on the individuals' their cognitive skills and their also thinking skills as well. So knowingly or unknowingly, we so now I will start sharing.
Yes.
Okay. So yes, there was a problem given to all of you, probably a simple one, and many people have responded. So thank you very much. And if we look at it, the most common possible answer was this answer, right? And almost everyone had demonstrated. There were a couple of responses where we got this answer as well. At least one response. Then we have a couple of response. I don't think any response was of this. So this is also one of the possibilities. So now I will try to demonstrate, or I'll try to share a couple of other possibilities for you to look at it. So there are already 5. So 1, then obviously cross is the second, third, fourth. Yeah. So 4 solutions. Look at this. Isn't it also one of the solution?
Yes.
The 5th solution. Okay, look at this. 6th solution. Again, fulfilling the criteria, but something different. Look at this. Look at this. There's also one of the solution. So there are already 8-9 solutions, and I have not brought any curves so far. So can anyone tell me what could be, if you apply statistics or if you apply other problem solving technique, maybe how many more solutions we can find out? I already shared about 9 solutions. So anyone would like to share how many solutions we can actually find out for this problem?
I think there are many actually.
Yeah, there are many. Okay. Okay. Can anyone be more precise?
Can we go back to the question?
Yeah. Okay.
I
The
remember.
question, the question is, the problem was given that you need to divide this shape into 4 equal shapes.
Parts.
4 equal
Okay.
parts.
My perception was 4 equal squares. So now I get,
Okay.
yeah, the perception, reading the question and the perception is very important. How we perceive.
So isn't it that is also one of the factor which influences our ability to solve problem?
Correct.
Yes, I think this is the most important factor to understand what is the question or what is the issue.
Okay.
Yeah, understand. Aren't they say once you understand a question correct, you 90% you solve it.
Now have I said at that time that you are not supposed to ask me any question? I didn't. So it is also our somewhere we have to reflect that if we are not clear about question, maybe we need to ask questions, isn't it?
Yes.
Because that will also influence, and that will also positively influence our ability to solve problem. Okay. But just coming back onto this, that why we could not think so many solutions. Maybe you may say time was short. I don't know why we all followed some of the typical solutions that we might have done in our school days.
I think we didn't feel the need of going very innovative, because I say if simple 4 square can make solve the problem, then it is good enough.
Now, how do we know that because when we are in a competitive world, if we also produce the similar product like other competitor, then how do you know that product will be successful in the market? So somewhere we have to look at the kind of solution that we are proposing should be a little bit different than others, right? Should be better than others. So yeah, but yes, you are right. That is one of the factors that drives our action. That if we don't feel that there is a need to create an alternative or more solutions, maybe even though we are capable, we might not do it.
Basically, we are capable, but most of we focusing on the deadlines. So because of deadlines, we are, if we found any solutions, so we'll go with the solutions only.
But isn't it that deadline is an external pressure which also impacts our problem solving skills?
Actually, it's not, but we have to explore the more things, or we need to bufferize the time according to this kind of solutions and all when we making any project plan.
Okay. Interesting point. Yeah.
Kitendra, I would like to differ out over here. My name is Baiju.
Okay.
See, whatever little I know, innovation only happens when you are in a crunch situation. Okay. When you don't have a crunch situation, the way we are going through a webinar right now, right? There was no pressure on any one of us. Now you just put up a question saying that no, okay, there's a plain piece of paper, and can you divide it into 4 equal parts? So no pressure. The mind is at a very relaxed position. When it is at a relaxed position, it becomes the easiest way out of it. Easiest way. मैंने square मैंने cross कर दिया, easy चलो 4 हो गया मेरा. I will not think beyond that. But the moment you start putting pressure, saying, no, not this, not this, not this, can we get something more? Can we get something more? And that is where the team starts thinking better. So we don't try to know, what do you call, we don't go all the length. It is said that even Einstein never uses the complete brain power to the totality. It was also some points, right? So yeah, we are not Einsteins, so we'll be using far lesser than what is given to us. So yeah, that's what my feeling is.
Yeah. Okay. Now, in reality, in a real world situation, how many times somebody will create a pressure on us, and then we go on developing a solution rather than? Isn't it good that we ourselves think in these lines, and we ourselves try to figure out and try to find more solutions, irrespective of whether somebody else is telling us? Because when somebody is going to tell us, at that time anyway we are going to do it, right? We are going to perform it.
But that is how we humans are, right? That is how we humans are. So by nature, by our DNA, or by whatever is how we have evolved over a period of time.
Correct. And as we become more resourceful, maybe the need to find other alternate solution also will not be there. That internal motivation or the need will not be there, because we are already resourceful, we are already successful, so that again will impact somewhere our ability. But this is a good point that you have brought in, and somewhere we have to think: are we going to continue driven by someone else, or at some point in time we will be also driving ourselves and moving professionally and personally in our life faster? So this is one of the point which we will be discussing about the issues and challenges in problem solving skills. So when we believe that yes, there are 10 solutions already, and actually there can be many, then our horizon will open, and then the moment we start thinking in those lines, the ideal answer is there are infinite possibilities. There are infinite way of dividing this square into 4 equal shapes, using curves, using angles, using all kinds of freehand. We can really do that. And if we give this problem to computer, and the computer will be able to give us the solution much faster. And also computer will give us a solution like millions of answers. And that is one of the issue that we as a human, we have to think in next 10 years, when Industry 4.0 and the technology is going to enter into a corporate world and also in our personal lives. We are actually going to compete with our with the robots or cobots in times to come, and our conventional approach of problem solving may not be appreciated by the corporate leaders, because they may feel that the robots or cobots is actually providing more solutions. So we have to think about how to out compete even a artificial intelligence or a software or a cobot or robots in times to come. But there is the point here is there is a n number of solutions possible, and this may be true for any other problem that we are facing in our professional life. Also in personal life, there could be many other alternatives, many other solutions. And that belief will be very, very important to going forward, because if we think that there is only one solution and we are constrained and we are adopting that solution, maybe we will not be able to achieve our desired goal, or maybe we'll lose a time, maybe we'll lose some resources, and then we'll later on we learn from that mistakes, or we learn from that experience, and then we try to implement the next solution, and then that may not be a good idea. But that's one of the factors. Now this, the problem is scientifically described as a functional fixedness, that we normally in our mind, we have a fixed mindset that the square, if the square to be divided into 4 shapes, or 4 equal shapes, and these are the ways, because that's what we have been doing since school education, and we would have done it in the past as well. And that becomes a cognitive bias, and that limits our ability to think in a different way. Now, who made this kind of fixedness in our mind? Is anyone from outside is actually creating this fixedness? Who does that? At some point in time, we have to think, are we responsible for this functional fixedness? If this functional fixedness is a natural phenomena, are we attempting from our side to come out from this? Because no one is exceptional. I mean, everyone, including me, would have passed through this functional fixedness, or maybe right now also passing. But isn't it a conscious effort required to come out from this, which will also improve our problem-solving abilities? Just think it over. This is one of the points. Okay, let me also give you another exercise. Select one card out of it, only one card, and focus on that card and remember that card. Select one card out of these cards. Selected? And yes. Remember, so you need to remember, so focus on that card. Now I'll close your cards. Now I'll mix your cards. Now, do you think that I will know which card you're selected? Because there are about more than 60 participants in the program. And is there any possibility that you are telling me which card you're selected? Probably there are no possibilities, right? And nobody is also writing in chat section that this is what the card that I have selected. But I think as we progress, you will see that your selected card might not be appearing, because now I'm opening the cards now, and your selected card might not be there. So I've removed one card, and that may be your selected card. I hope you still remember your selected card, right? Okay, so your card, just check whether your card is there or not. Now, why that happens? What happened? How your card has gone? This is probably a trick that you might have also seen in some magic show or somewhere.
So all 6 cards are gone.
Yeah. So yeah, but then how many people are able to identify that? And why we are not able to identify that? Yeah, exactly. You are right. All 6 cards have changed. But our ability, we may not recognize this at first unless we are quite observant and unless we are attentive. Because when we focus on one thing, we don't pay much attention to other things which are quite related, which are quite common. So this could be one of the reasons which is creating a misconception in our mind about a problem or about a solution. Now, I don't know whether this factor will come into your this thing or not, your way or not, because you might be aware about this particular misconception, and maybe you have developed your ability or skills so that there are no misconceptions when you approach a problem. But quite a few people experience this difficulty, and misconception is one of the issues that they face when they try to solve problems. There's another misconception is that difficult problems require complex solution. Have you ever experienced when you are dealing with your team members, especially the young ones who might interact with you, and as a team you are passing through a very, very complex, difficult problem, and then everybody's thinking that, oh, this might require a complex solution. Now, maybe one or two difficult problem might require a complex solution, but it's not always 100% that all difficult problems require complex solution, because who is assigning this level of difficulty to any problem? That also needs to be examined. Only we are assigning that degree or we are assigning that number that, yeah, this is the most difficult problem. And we also have to understand that 10 years ago, you might have came across the most difficult problem. Maybe after 10 years, you might be passing through a similar problem, or maybe a same problem. But isn't it you have experienced that you are not attaching that level of difficulty now? Because you learn from that one experience of solving a problem, you develop your abilities, you have more knowledge now, and the difficulty level has actually gone down. So that also is one of the factor which may come on our way in problem solving abilities. There are also other issues, very common issues, like we assume a lot of things, and we are probably not clarifying our assumptions. We are not even writing down our assumptions, or sharing our assumptions when we say this is the possible solutions of a problem. We assume, we then try to solve or suggest a solution, and if it works, it's fine. If it doesn't work, then maybe we'll revisit this assumption, or we'll revisit the solution. But that's a process that we pass through. So somewhere we have to, these assumption and expectations, when we have expectations of a certain answer or a certain solutions to come out in that problem, that also influences our ability of a problem solving. There are a couple of other issues which also makes it difficult for us, because every problem may have many other sub problems, or maybe many people are involved into it. So the magnitude of problem or the impact of that particular problem might also be huge. It could be. Many of the people, they don't recognize that there is a problem. So as an external person and as a consultant, I get an opportunity to work with many companies, and it takes a lot of detailed discussion and suggesting or showing them the proof that you have a problem. Now, in case of medical problem, it's very clear, because of the lot of tests that we are doing, or imaging that we do. Numbers will tell that, yeah, there is a problem. But we don't do this in every problem that we come across in the company, right? And that's why there is also a issue of recognizing there is a problem. Sometimes we understand that there is a problem, but we are not able to frame the problem correctly. And that also can limit our ability, because then it becomes an ill-defined problem. So there is a problem, but the problem is not very well defined. Once the problem is not very well defined, then maybe our ability to solve that problem will be very limited. Many times we know the problem, but we don't know what is the cause, why that problem has occurred. And that also may limit our ability to remove that cause, so that the problem will not resurface again. Failure to identify other involved people, other involved parts or subparts of the problem, that also can impact our own know-how, skills, and past experience. That also can impact positively or negatively our ability to solve problems. There are many other barriers in problem solving that also, and this misconception or assumption, these are all typical barriers. Or functional fixedness is also one of the barriers that also can play its role. Sometimes we have a problem, but there are a large number of possible solutions. And because we have so many possible solutions, and because we don't have that much time, and we can't go on checking, or we can't go on validating each and every possible solutions. Maybe sometimes we say, okay, let that problem be. I am okay with it, because I don't have time, or rather I don't want to do that. I don't want to pass through that process. That also can happen. Personal solution might be heavily constrained. So there are solutions, but then we might be passing through a lot of constraints. There is a social pressure, there is external influence, there is anxiety created, and age also positively or negatively impact our ability to solve the problem. So compared to the child, adult can solve the problem better. Compared to adult, mid-age people, midlife people can solve problems better. But compared to that, physically unfit or maybe mentally challenged, a very old person may not be able to solve the problem because their internal psychological and physical abilities may not permit or may not help in solving the problem. Otherwise, as far as know-how is concerned, maybe with age, the know-how definitely increases because the person is passing through so many problems in their lifetime, and every problem is actually a learning for us. It is unless we look at what is the role of the brain and how the psychology is playing its role. Unless we look at it, we will not be able to really find what is happening and why it is happening. So, and I always, I look at the mythology, I look at neuroscience, I look at medical science, I look at social science. For same, when I do any kind of research, I try to look at all different dimensions, and then only I get convinced that yeah, this would be a probable reason. So I'm sure everyone is familiar with the construction of the brain because this is what we studied in our school in a biology subject. There are two important parts in the brain which plays a very important role in decision making. One is a prefrontal cortex. That is the front side of our brain, exactly behind the forehead, and there is a internal part called hippocampus. So these are the two very important part that plays an important role in decision making. Any sensory input that act as a stimuli, and that stimuli excites the hippocampus area. Hippocampus then send a signal to prefrontal cortex, that is known as a PFC, and PFC again go back to hippocampus because hippocampus is a part where our memory is stored. So then again some recall function happen. The information is retrieved from hippocampus back to prefrontal cortex, and then the prefrontal cortex decides the next course of action. Now, in entire this cycle of stimuli to action, there are a lot of cognitive processes are happening, and that is about understanding the problem, reasoning, doing calculation, preconception, manipulation, and comprehension. So all this cognitive process also happen in parallel when our brain actually try to solve the problem. There are many interesting research, and I think I would like to share this interesting research with all of you because this will change our perception about problem solving and also our own ability of decision making and problem solving. Those who are interested can go through those reference books and those detailed medical science and neuroscience and psychology research papers. This information is available in public domain. It may require a few days of your search and a few hours of your time, but I think if you are interested, you will definitely be able to find out. So the first point is that the problem solving skills will continue to grow no matter which stage in life, who are we, as we grow in our life, as we age, our problem solving skills continue to improve. So that is a good news for all of us. process of solving problem is an organized activity, whether we like it or not, whether we are taking those organized way of problem solving or not, but the way the biology and the way the system is designed and the way problems are getting solved, somewhere you will find that yes, there is organized mental activity is happening. And in addition to this, if our conscious efforts, if we make in terms of problem solving, then that method can be called as analytical problem solving, because then we are consciously doing those steps to solve the problem step by step. To solve the problem, the brain will have to mobilize all its resources. And this particular point, we have to be mindful, because as such, the brain consumes our 20% or more of our calories or energy that we produce. But the size of the brain is maybe, as far as weight is concerned, is just 3 pounds. So is just a few, 1 or 2% of weight of the body, but it consumes 20% plus our calories or energy. But to solve our problem, the entire 20% of energy has to be allocated to the problem solving. And that's why you might have noticed that our problem solving abilities goes down when our brain is not focusing all its resources on problem. If we are stressed, if we have anxiety, if we are passing through those emotional trouble stage, our ability to take decisions actually go down. And this also happens in the investment decisions, in a behavioral economics, behavioral finance, and all spheres of our life. If we are not diverting our entire energy inside the brain to the problem solving areas, the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex, in that case, our problem solving ability will be very limited. That's why panic stage or anxiety or panic actually hampers our problem solving abilities, because it drains a lot of energy. Effectiveness of problem solving will be, but there is also a very important point. Out of 20% of energy brain consume, if we are able to solve problem with a less percentage of energy, less calories, that is the ideal state. That is called efficient way of solving the problem. So I think if the way I started applying these techniques since last 13 years, maybe if you can also try to adopt a couple of these techniques, you will be able to also solve problem with less energy, with less calories that you consume. Joint problem solving, instead of one person, 2 people, instead of 2 people, team solving problem, then effectiveness increases. That is also scientifically proven. And also in the management and in other research also, we know that the team can take better decisions. There is age and maturity related points are also there, that as we are becoming more mature, as our age increases, then our ability to solve the problem or effectiveness will also increase. There is a good news that we can train our brain for problem solving, and that's where our focus of today's discussion will be. So these are a couple of important points that I wanted to share as far as the role of brain in problem solving is concerned. Of course, all research paper, when you read, they write as a disclaimer that probably more research will be required in this area. So I'm not a biologist, I'm not a medical professional, but whatever is a limited knowledge that I have acquired, and based on my own experience, I thought to share it with you all. There are 2 ways our brain actually makes decision and solve the problem. The one is called insight problem solving, and second is called analytical problem solving. There are 2 major methods, and then of course in analytical problem solving there are a couple of other methods. So when we look at our own solving style, and we can categorize that whether we prefer or we follow insight problem solving or analytical problem solving. Insight problem solving is happening automatically. It is, we are passing through a problem or a difficult situation, and suddenly we get a solution from our mind. Yeah, that let us do this, let us implement this. And before that, we have not actually done a very structured way of problem solving process. That is called insight problem solving. I'll also explain how that happens, and I'm sure everyone would have experienced this insight problem solving, and you might have solved many problems. Many problems you sleep over in the night, and the morning, early morning, when you are taking shower, you suddenly a flash idea come to your mind, and that's a solution. So how that solution is emerging, that is because of the ability of the brain to emerge a solution. Now, how those ability develops is, of course, all this structured process happens. The memory, our own experience of solving problems, everything adds to our ability of insight problem solving. And analytical problem solving is the way we do on a day-to-day basis. The structured way of we are recognizing a problem, we are classifying a problem, we are quantifying a problem, then we look at the impact of the problem, then we try to look at which are the alternatives available, then we evaluate each and every alternatives, then we try to select the best one, then we act on it. Now that entire process is called analytical problem solving method.
Okay, there is a comment here from one of our
yes.
Can we say insight problem solving is the same as intuitive problem solving?
Yeah, you can say that. Yes, it is intuitive problem solving. And look at interesting research. The insight answers are right about 94% of the time, whereas the structured analytical problem solving, and again, this is based on that particular research. So it is 78% of the time that analytical problem solving. So our brain don't make mistakes. When there is an insight problem solving happens, then we can trust our brain. That is what the research has pointed out. But to reach to that level and to strengthen this ability, we have to face problems. We have to solve those problems. And whether we do it through analytical solving or whether we depend on brain. But I think every effort and every experience of analytical problem solving will actually add into our future insight problem solving ability. This is what is my understanding. And this is the reason I think every book that you read, every knowledgeable person that you meet, every experienced person you meet, every training program you attend, that all adds to your ability of insight problem solving. Maybe those problems are not there right now, but in future, because this information is shared, this information you have captured, you have memorized certain information, it is going to help you. It is bound to help, because whatever goes inside never comes out. It remains. And now, whatever scientists have discovered, there are about 86 billion neurons. 86 billion neurons, and every neuron can actually network with more than 10,000 neurons nearby. And many scientists say that whatever is available on internet, the entire knowledge we can store in our brain. That is what is the power we have. It is hard to realize or understand or accept this fact. Yeah, this is what the scientists are saying. So we need to be mindful about both insight problem solving as well as analytical problem solving. There are a couple of approaches that we have to, we normally do it, maybe knowingly or unknowingly. But today, when we go through this, and I'm sure you will be able to share with your team members that which which approach of problem solving your team members have adopted. First approach is the direct facts. You look at the direct solution, a known solution, because the problem was known in the past, you did it, so you apply that solution. That is called direct fact-based approach. Second approach is a heuristic approach, or you can say rule of thumb. You say, out of all this possible solution, this is the most important or most probable or best possible solution. And you say this is a rule of thumb. If something happens like this, we have to do this. That is called heuristic or rule of thumb way of solving a problem. Another approach is analogy. Because we applied certain solution techniques, we applied certain methods and we solved these problems. And if the situation is very similar, maybe we will use that analogy and we will solve those problems. And that is a good way, and we all do that quite frequently. Hill climbing is the approach where you try to solve the problem step by step. So you say, okay, this is the most complex problem. Then you break down the problem. I'm sure many of the experts of project management, you understand the power of work breakdown structure, and that is your main activity to plan the entire project. So hill climbing approach is very similar to problem breakdown structure, you can say, and then you can identify the actionable item, you solve that, and then you reach to the next level. Exhaustive search, you have certain problem and then you search all possible solutions, and then maybe you decide which one is the best under the circumstances. You do analysis and synthesis, where you have a set of problems and you analyze each one. You reduce those number of solutions to the best one, and then you say, okay, this is the solution that you are going to adopt. And then another approach in trial and error, that many people are also doing the trial and error approach. So these are the approach that we knowingly or unknowingly apply in our problem solving issues. There are many tools which we can use. If there are management problems, then we have so many tools in operations management, in HR management, in finance management, in sales and marketing. Every book, every research paper is full of tools. Project management, we have several tools to solve problems related to projects. We have functional tools, mathematics, statistics, operation research, physics, chemistry, material science. We have quality management tools like quality control tools or lean management, lean manufacturing tools to address certain problems in the factory or in a manufacturing process. We have other TQM tools like root cause analysis, where we try to find why the problem is there, and then we try to find out how can we solve. That is a 5W and 1H. And fishbone diagram is also very, very popular. There are a lot of thinking tools now. Last couple of 10-15 years, we see there are many thinking tools are available, like creative thinking, design thinking, critical thinking, intuitive thinking. So many thinkings. I will share the list as well. So those also you can look at different thinking. Lateral thinking is one of the tools. But today I want to drive one of the thinking methodology which I think is most practical, and I found it very helpful and handy. So I will share it with you. This is the process. If at all we would like to go through a structured problem solving process, then we have to recognize that there is a problem. We have to find out what exactly is the problem. We need to allocate certain resources, because without allocating resources, how the problem will be solved. Either time, money, manpower, something we have to allocate. Then we have to look at the information. We have to find the steps to solve the problem. We have to combine all the steps to prepare a strategy. Then we have to execute those actions, and then we have to monitor. So this is a typical structured problem solving process that we have to follow. I think believing in ourselves is one of the most important step in in problem solving. If we believe that, yes, we have the ability to solve problem and we want to genuinely solve the problem, and that positivity and that positive intent really helps in solving the problem. We acknowledge the situation, we find out where we are right now, and that is in a management, it is called as is situation. This is where we stand today. Then we take the inventory. And inventory, that means what we have, how much money we have, how many resources, how much resources we have, what is the material, which are the tools available, which are the infrastructure assets, what is the context and network that I have. So if I am trying to find an alternate job, for example, to solve certain problem, then I will look at, okay, how much resources do I have? That without job, how many months or how many years I can survive? I will look at my network. How many people can really help me to search or find a job or to recommend me in a company? So this kind of inventory we have to take. Then we have to decide a goal. That, okay, we are here today, but we want to be at a certain stage. We want to reach, this is our goal. And that is the change that we want to bring. So through problem solving, we are actually bringing a change. From one condition, we are changing the condition, other condition. And then we look at the constraints and environment, because these constraints and environment are the contextual issues that will play a major role. Yeah, even though we have a network, even though we might have resources, maybe we are not able to solve problem because external environment is not conducive. So that also we have to look at it. Find alternate path. Find different, what is the best path for us? Now, if we don't know the best path, maybe we have to talk to other people who might be expert, who might be subject matter expert, or mentors who might have taken this path in their lifetime. And then find out, or maybe we have to refer books, because somebody might have taken that path and might have included the experience in the book. That will help us in gaining that information about different paths. We have to evaluate and shortlist the best option and then take action. This point number 1 and point number 9 are equally important, because we may do point number 1 to point number 8, but if we don't do point number 9, then probably our problems will not be solved. It will remain as it is. And in many companies, when we work with executives, this point number 1 to point number 8 are happening, but point number 9, there are issues, there are challenges. And then the results are not visible. So somewhere we have to be mindful.
I think he is back.
Ketan, so you are on mute.
Okay, so there are so many types of thinking, and every such concept you will find so many books on it. There are so many research papers on it. But today I want to focus on solution-based thinking and a possibility-based thinking. Maybe there are no books written on that topic, but I think this approach is really a good approach. Why solution-based thinking or a possibility thinking is very critical or important? So here I would like to share one of my experience. In one of the training program, our normal training program starts with what are the problems that you face in your organization. So one of the international training program, there was one participant from Bhutan, and he started introducing himself and say, sir, we have no problems, we have situations. And the way he explained, and he told that, yes, we are the happiest people on the planet because we don't have problems, we have only situations. And that has given me a very good insight about how a simple perception change from a problem to a situation, how it can improve our ability of handling any kind of difficult situations in our life. So I think perception about problem and perception about situation. Maybe many people feel that problems are hard to solve, but the situation can be changed, and situations one can handle very well. Yes, it can be changed once we have a belief, once we have a will, once we have resources, once we are taking action, then situation will change. Maybe the outcome will depend on number of external and our resources allocation and our action factors. Change. But good thing is that the problems are what make our life worth living. So we should not be going away from the problem, because problem helps us to learn better. Problem improves our life and our problem solving skills for future problems. We solve tougher and tougher problem. We challenge our brain cells more and more, and it helps because in any typical gym, our muscles of our body can be challenged, and we see a bodybuilding happens. But there is no way we can do a gym exercise in the exercise of the brain in the gym. But that gym we can create ourselves by passing through a problem situation, by challenging our brain cells, by doing the activity where our brain is involved. We can actually challenge our brain, and we can improve our brain plasticity. So instead of problem focus, the mind has to be a solution focus, and we have to consider failure as a means of success. We have to consider it as a stepping stone, and we should never accept any limits. Refuse that limits, and try to strengthen whatever best you can do. That's what I've been doing, and I'll continue doing it in future as well. Focus is on possibility thinking. Once you have a possibility thinking, that means you have a possibility. You are looking at possibility rather than the constraints, and that is at least 50% of converting the situation into your favor. So one needs to look at whether I'm a beginner in the problem solving ability, or I'm an expert in the problem solving ability. You can take this inventory, you can do your self-assessment, and you can find out, you can do self-rating, because you only can do this. No one else can tell you whether you are an expert problem solver, or whether you are a beginner problem solver, or whether you are on a middle path. So these are the abilities, and these are the inventories that you have to look at: your own knowledge, the accumulated information. That's why I said more book reading, more training program you are participating, more field experience, more experiential learning, more real life situations. It all adds into your becoming expert problem solver. Your skills, improvement of skills, your traits, your memory, your problem articulation and representation abilities, imagination, abstraction, categorization, your self-motivation, all adds into the problem-solving abilities. Okay, now the most interesting part, just a 5-minute exercise to find out your problem-solving style. I will share 3 slides one by one. So look at these points. There are 15 self-assessment questions that you have to look at, and you have to do rating between 0 to 10. And you only give rating to that particular point if you believe that you are strongly following that particular approach. If you have a doubt, then you don't give the rating, because if you start giving rating, equal rating to everything, you will not be able to know what is your dominant problem solving style. So there are 5 questions here. Just on your plain paper, just write it down: A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and then read the question, read the point, and then do your self-evaluation on a scale of 0 to 10. Only pick up and only rate if you do it. And just let me know once you finish this 5 points, and I will advance the slide.
10 being the
10 being the highest, that yes, you always exhibit this particular approach. That is 10. 0 means you don't do it at all.
Okay.
Oh, Ketan, one clarification question. What is
Yes.
this relying on your internal signals?
Yeah, internal signals is that you are solving a problem and your inner brain or mind says that do this, sell the stock, invest into this, buy this property. That is the internal signal.
So is
That
it
is the
what we call
intuitive,
as normal
intuitive
parlance
thinking
as
or
gut feeling?
gut feeling. Yeah, yeah, that's
Gut
right.
feeling?
Yeah, yes, yes. Can I move on to the next slide, please?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah. So here you have to write B1, B2, B3, B4, and B5, so that later on when we add the score, it will be easy for you to count it down.
It is same slide as of now.
Please refresh it.
Now it is changed.
Yeah, now people
No, it
can.
has changed.
Yeah, now it is.
Yeah, this is the next one. There are only 15 points: A, B, and C. A1 to A5, B1 to B5, C1 to C5. Okay, we move on to the next one.
So we need to give them a minute more.
Okay. Okay, this is the last one. C1 to C5. Okay, those who have completed, you can add all ones, all twos, all threes, all four, and all five. You have 5 scores. So A1, B1, and C1, just add the self rating, the score. So your score sheet will look like this. So if you're all ones, that is the dominant, that is the highest marks, then your dominant style is intuitive. If you're twos, then you are rational thinker. If three is the highest, then you are logical thinker. And the 4, then you are analytical thinker. And 5, that means you are a creative thinker. So these are the 5 styles. Of course, there is one more categorization, whether you are following insight-based thinking or analytical thinking. So that also is a broad categorization, but this is more precise categorization. And then this may be your prominent style. It may happen that you are intuitive in certain categories of solution, but you are logical in certain category of problem. So that also can happen. You may have 2 equal scores. That also can happen. But the more precise assessment that you would have given, in that case, you would have found your prominent problem-solving style. And of course, you can look at whether you need to change that, or are you flexible enough to adapt to different problem-solving style depending on different problems. Are you already automatically doing it, or maybe sometimes your style and actual problem does not match, and that could be the reason that you have to depend on someone else to solve those problems. So there are a couple of insights that you can get, and you can do a little bit more further reading and further research on your problem-solving style. And then if you really change it, then you can definitely do that with the structured intervention. These are the skills as a problem solver. You will be.
Chetanji, one point.
Yes.
The earlier
Yes.
one. So we talked about context, and people may react differently. How does it work between a personal life versus a professional life? Will the same person do it the same way, or will they work different?
Yeah. So whether it is a personal life or professional life, the decision is taken by whom?
I agree, but my thought was there could be some people who take decisions intuitively in their personal life, or maybe vice versa. When it comes to professional life, they're a lot more careful and all that stuff.
Yeah. So ideally, what you are saying is there could be a different approach. Yeah. But look at the way advertising agency work. Look at the behavioral research that we normally, if we want to buy something, we have already taken a decision, and we just try to justify our decision by giving reasons why we are buying. Now there are n number of research which indicates that, and this is what is the advertisers are exploiting, the way we think and the way we take our decisions. So it is very difficult to point out, but yes, if you can, if there are nature of problems are like that, and if you have a luxury of time, if you can really do that, if you want to groom your team members, suppose you are a leader. Now, you know intuitively that this is the way the solution is going to work, and this is the best solution. But what you can do is to groom your team members. You can say, okay, let us go in a logical way. Let us look at the facts. Let us analyze the problem. And then later on, you arrive at a couple of solutions, and you ask the team members that which one is the best solution. But intuitively, as a team leader, you know that this is the best solution because you have done it, these kind of projects, you have done taken this kind of decision n number of time in the past. So for you, it's intuitive. For you, it's a gut feeling base. For you, it's an insight base. But for others, it can be an analytical decision making.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So these are the skills you keep on updating if you are trying to become a professional problem solver, consultant, coach, counselor, teacher, professor, or anybody who help other people in solving the problem, or a coach. then definitely this skill inventory will be helpful to you. Just last point, we feel that we are in a problem situation or we have a problem, and many of the problems are created by us, by our wrong words that we have spoken or our wrong actions that we have taken, whether it is an investment decision, whether it is a changing of a job as a decision, financial investments, leaving a job, breakup, relationship issues. Maybe if we reflect on those outcomes, maybe at some point in time we may realize that we might have made some mistakes, and this can be explained very simple. Like we have a glass of water, but we add 20 lemons, the juice of 20 lemon into one glass of water. Now this is a mistake. This is a mistake that we have done it. Now how can we take out the excess lemon which is already mixed inside the water? Because that glass no one can drink. 20 lemons and one glass of water, it is impossible to drink. So how can we do that? So one approach could be we throw away the excess water, and we add another fresh water, and we try to utilize it. There could be another approach where we can add 10 glass of water or 9 glass of water and make the lemon juice suitable for 10 people. So if we look at the positivity, if we add positivity into the situation, even though we might have done wrong thing in the past, there is an opportunity to do a correction. And with this correction, maybe many of our chronic problems can be resolved. Every time when I propose some training program, Vivek, Kalyan, and Professor Jarbai always ask me that what is the return on investment from the points that you are going to talk. Now, in the 90 minutes, you have invested your 90 minutes of time. Only you can judge, or you can find out whether you have gained some return on your investment or not. But from my side, what I can tell you is what has changed. By attending today's session, your brain plasticity has permanently changed. That is called neuroplasticity. Whether you like it or not, it has changed, and it has changed for a better. So don't worry about it. If you tell your family doctor that my neuroplasticity has changed, the doctor will be happy and may compliment you. Your cognitive capability has gone up a little bit. Your brain fitness has gone up because today you have taken part in some of the exercises. You have been attentively listening. You have been doing your self-assessment. Your fitness has improved. You have added at least 50,000 neurons, neuron connection in your brain by doing all these activities and by listening. And your ability for insight-based problem solving for future has completely improved, has changed. And many times in future you may refer as a God's gift, but there could be a contribution from this training or this webinar session. So thank you very much. Thank you all for your active participation, and let us open this program for any kind of questions or discussions. Please join Project Managers Club of Pune's Facebook group and WhatsApp group so that future program intimation will be shared it with you. Both groups are only for Project Managers Club of Pune's activity, nothing else, no nonsense, no spam, nothing. So you rest assured, no message you will receive except training programs. Okay, thank you very much. I'm open. The session is open now for your feedback, for your any kind of experiences that you would like to share. Yeah, Vivek will share the link of both groups in the email as well. So, okay.
So any question, please put this into the chat box. Or you can also speak it out.
Yeah, and also happy to hear from you if there are any feedbacks from your side. Yeah, the link is shared, so maybe you can join. later on. I think Vivek, am I on time?
Yes, you are absolutely on time. So if there's some time for the question answers, please go ahead.
Good, good, good.
So we still have time for 5 minutes for the questions.
Yeah, so
meanwhile we're getting questions, I have just to share that, like in the previous slide, you said that a cognitive ability has improved and your what is neuron plasticity has
neuroplasticity
increased.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this may be happening in almost every such session.
Yeah, that's what. I wanted to share that. Yes, that's what Project Managers Club of Pune has been trying. But this was a good opportunity to articulate that particular point and emphasize on that, because we are on the same subject. But yes,
You're breaking.
Okay.
Your voice was breaking. Can you say it again?
Yeah, I think as I mentioned that, yes, it is happening in all PMCP's programs in the past. But this was an opportunity to articulate it in this because we are on the related topic of the brain. So I thought to put it and articulate it. So there is a question, Vivek, about 1.5 PDUs. I think you can answer.
Yes.
And I saw many feedback, so thank you very much. Thanking everyone who shared their feedback, that they found it useful, informative. And the entire session recording also will be uploaded on the Facebook. The slides will be uploaded, so you all will have access to all the material. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Pankaj, for your feedback. Thank you, Mr. Santosh. Yeah, you reflect later on, and then maybe you can share your feedback later on as well, that what exactly has changed and how it has helped you in your personal or professional life. But our objective is that whatever we know, we share with others and we learn from others. That's what we have been doing in Project Managers Club of Pune, and we'll continue doing so. We have a couple of paid programs, very detailed, very intensive paid programs also line up. That's also, I think Vivek will share the details.
Yeah, we'll come back with very soon, and it will be a paid program, but heavily discounted, right?
Yeah, but then this monthly intervention will continue till we will be able to do it. So
yeah.
And we must thank Professor Jaiba and College of Engineering, Pune, for wonderful support of venue and also the partnering in all the programs. I don't know whether Professor Jaiba was here.
Yeah, he's here. Actually, he has to close the session. He has to close the session.
Okay, yeah.
So I think we are in the 7th year now.
Yes.
So that's a great achievement, and I think we should be thankful to all the people who are part of the PMCP, like this Project Managers Club of Pune, and because of their patronage only, we are actually having this kind of milestone achieving. And this is a kind of support which we are continuously looking for, and that's the purpose of bringing more engagement. So this will continue. The free there will be some paid, but I think that will also be very well discounted as such to facilitate a better approach to the management, or a better approach to the leadership as such.
So
yes,
sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Yeah,
the stage is for you.
And
yes,
I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Ketan Gandhi sir for his excellent talk on this problem solving. It is always feast for all of us to listen Mr. Ketan Gandhi sir, because as a founder member of this PM CP club, and knowledgeable person who has done a lot of work in this area and giving trainings and all those counseling sessions. So really, sir, it was a wonderful session. I was listening throughout the session. It was what I should say, a speechless kind of thing. It was continuous hearing and listening, and you have really done our this neuro plasticity and whatever cognitive mind and brainstorming.
Yes.
So
thank you, sir.
very much, sir. And really, it is useful for all the project managers to have this refreshment sessions kind of thing and key speeches in this area. So once again, I thank and thank you all of you. So we'll try to have maybe once this situation is over, the COVID situation, we may have the physical things, but now it is going on the process, and all members who are participating day by day, the numbers is increasing, and definitely it will be in 6 years, it will be a better scenario for all of us.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Can we give an incentive that people who are all vaccinated can attend those sessions? That's another option for you. In person.
Yeah, could be. Once the institute starts, I think then it can be done.
Yes, that we will check it out. Maybe incentives, we can think it of.
Let's get it started first. Actually.
Yeah.
let's institute start. Then we will think about these incentives.
Okay.
Great. So we are already over time. So thank you very much to all of you, and thanks to especially to KG Guruji actually.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, KG.
Thank you.